I guess you could say I'm an Orson Welles fan. I do have several of his films, including, of course, Citizen Kane. I just got to see this again on the big screen. It was an anniversary screening, and it was so much fun to see this. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and just realized how groundbreaking and risk-taking this thing really was. Going chronologically, The Magnificent Ambersons, which I saw fairly recently, really enjoyed this one. Lady from Shanghai. His take on Othello. One of the best film noirs ever made, Touch of Evil. And another take on Shakespeare, Chimes at Midnight. But there are a couple of other more obscure films from Orson Welles that you may not have heard of. And that's the topic for today's episode. This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. This is my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today, two obscure Orson Welles films. One of them, believe it or not, is a Western. The first obscure Orson Welles films I want to talk about is The Stranger. This is from 1946. It's in beautiful black and white. It's only 94 minutes. This is about an investigator from the War Crimes Commission. He travels to this small town in Connecticut because there is a Nazi war criminal hiding out there using a fake identity. The cast includes Edward G. Robinson, one of my favorites, as the investigator, and Orson Welles as the Nazi who is hiding out. His fiancée is played by Loretta Young, and she's also the daughter of a judge in the film. Now, Welles directed this. It falls in between The Magnificent Ambersons and Lady from Shanghai. The cinematographer was Russell Meddy, probably most famous for Touch of Evil and Ride the Pink Horse. So he's got some noir credentials to him. And this is definitely a film noir. There is no femme fatale involved, but it is a evil in a small town theme. The darkness of mankind. There's that high contrast lighting and the expressionistic angles and the shadows that are so characteristic of film noir. This was, I guess, in pretty bad shape for quite a while. I had an old DVD of it that I got for like $5 and it looked terrible. And so maybe it was in public domain, I'm not sure. But this edition was preserved by the Library of Congress, and it looks really good. There are a few scratches here and there, and some graininess, which is okay here and there, but otherwise looks great. Now, I really like The Stranger. There is one problem I had with it, and that is, Orson Welles is playing this Nazi criminal in hiding. So he goes to this small town in Connecticut where everybody knows everybody else's business, and he's a teacher at this local boys' school, and he is engaged to the daughter of a judge. So he looks pretty suspicious right off the bat, but maybe it's this hiding in plain sight. Maybe that's his idea. Edward G. Robinson's character is more easygoing and normal looking, so he fits in better as a stranger in the town. There is one really interesting highlight in this film, and that's when the Edward G. Robinson character decides he needs to tell Loretta Young, Welles' fiancée, who this guy really is. So he sits her down in this room, turns on a projector, and shows her silent footage of the liberation of the Nazi concentration camps. And Edward G. Robinson is narrating what's going on. And she, of course, is freaked out, and she's appalled, and it's very disturbing. Now, interestingly, the film they show in this is part of a larger piece called Death Mills. It's about a 20-minute film, and it's included on this disc. And it was made by the U.S. State Department because they wanted to show it to the German people to remind them of the atrocities of what happened during World War II. And it's very graphic. The entire film is graphic. It's narrated, but it's silent. And it's we're talking about piles of naked bodies and just. I lasted about 10 minutes of the 20-minute film, so it's very disturbing and very interesting that they placed that footage inside this film noir. Now, also on this disc, oh, by the way, that film Death Mills, the footage of the camps, was produced by Billy Wilder. This is a Kino disc. Also on here, you get that film, and you get some wartime radio broadcasts that Orson Welles did. You get a commentary from a film historian. You can rent this. As far as buying this, from what I could see, it looks like it might be out of print. This thing is going for like $100 on Amazon. So I have a feeling that that's the only way you can get it. But if you do have a streaming service such as Starz, Epix, or Paramount Plus, apparently it's streaming on there right now. The second obscure Orson Welles film, Man in the Shadow. This is probably more obscure than The Stranger. It's from 1957. Beautiful black and white once again. Only 80 minutes long, so it moves along fast. There's no fat in this one. It's a Western, and it's about a sheriff who's investigating a murder of a Mexican ranch hand at this ranch, which is a huge ranch, employs about 400, 500 people. And so therefore the ranch owner, he controls a lot of the people in town and a lot of the economy of the town, so everybody's kind of afraid of him. The sheriff is played by Jeff Chandler. The ranch owner is played by Orson Welles, and he did this between Touch of Evil and Othello. He did not direct it, he just plays the role. He's very good in it. And the director was Jack Arnold, who is best known for classic science fiction such as This Island Earth, It Came from Outer Space, The Incredible Shrinking Man, and Creature from the Black Lagoon. The writer was Gene L. Coon, who did a lot of classic TV writing, including the original Star Trek, Kung Fu, Combat, and Rawhide. One thing about this film is it really reminded me a lot of High Noon, which was made a few years before this, because you have a sheriff who's a good man acting on his own. Nobody backs him up. He's one good man against all the other elements. He is has his own value system, and near the end of the film, he's beaten by these guys who own the ranch, and the people in town are finally shocked that this happened to him. And he says, "Oh, you're shocked now, but you weren't shocked when that Mexican ranch hand got beaten or got killed, were you?" So getting the message through there about how these people are treated, and they are treated really in the film less than human. The ranch hands, the Mexican ranch hands are, and they're called derogatory terms, which I will not repeat here. There's also a scene of some sexual harassment against the Welles' daughter in the film. The film looks really good. It's about $15 if you want to buy this one. I can't see it for rent anywhere. You have a commentary from a film historian on here, and that's about it. But I like this one too. So both those films I recommend. Really like those a lot, especially if you're an Orson Welles fan. Feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down here. Feel free to leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this with your friends and neighbors. Otherwise, I hope you like this one, and I thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.